YouTube, my name is Mesa Sean, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Alright folks, strap in. I've got a ton of stuff to go over in this video. Got some more hands-on gameplay from Shadowkeep, thanks to Bungie Studios. They brought me out there last week. In this video, we're going to cover a number of things. We're going to cover the new exotic hand cannon called Ariannas Valve. We're going to cover the Ordeal Nightfalls strike, but in the new playlist with all of the new modifiers that are absolutely insane. We're going to cover some new enemies that go along with this new variation of the Nightfalls. We're also going to go over every single mod that you unlock with the seasonal artifact. And some of them are pretty interesting, and you will have to get to know them real quick, because to do the new Ordeal Nightfalls, you will need some of the modifiers to put on your weapons. Some enemies just will not go down unless you have certain mods on them. We'll talk about finishers, and as I mentioned in yesterday's video, finishes I thought were going to be a gimmick, and no, they are extremely fun, extremely addictive. They will get you killed because you constantly want to run up to enemies and do finishing moves on them. However, when you combine them with your seasonal artifact, well, they have some really cool bonuses if you use finishers on enemies. Be sure to check out yesterday's videos. I uploaded 2 videos, and man, it is just content overload. And Eris Morn has uncovered something absolutely mind-blowing inside the moon. But don't worry, I do not spoil anything, and I actually bleep out a whole bunch of things that would relate to anything that might spoil it for you guys. And some final housekeeping. Big thank you to True Vangaurd for sharing his footage with me. We both swapped footage, so half the footage is his and half the footage is mine. And also, right at the time that this video goes live, I will upload the full gameplay of the strike you're seeing in the background, which is mine, and I will also discuss how we actually set up our mods, our seasonal artifact mods, our character mods, and I might touch on it in this video as well. If you enjoy this video, please hit that like button. It really does help me out, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Let's get into it, folks. So here she is, Ariannas Valve. Now, the main perk is Looks Can Kill. This weapon fires special shield-piercing ammunition, and it also comes with a scope. Now look at that impact, look at that range, but very poor stability, very poor handling, and very poor reload speed. However, you can make up for that poor stability handling the reload speed with what? With Armor 2.0 and all the different mods. I'm going to talk more about Armor 2.0 in the other video that's going live right now, which you should watch right after this video. But with that impact, and also with that perk, shield piercing, yeah, you are going to take shields down probably in one shot in most scenarios. You've got extended barrel, accurized rounds, and you have hipfire grip. Now, the second perk is called, or second trait is called Death at First Glance. Bonus damage when aiming down sights on the opening shot of an attack. This bonus is preserved if the shot deals precision damage or strikes an elemental shield. So in a nutshell, this weapon is all about getting your crits, you cannot miss your critical hits, and then also taking down shields. Now, to get this weapon, if you have the Season Pass and the Premium track with, well, if you buy Shadowkeep, you get Season of the Undying with the Premium track, you can get this on Rank 1. If you're playing for free and you're just going through Season of the Undying, you have to wait all the way until Rank 35 to unlock this hand cannon. So if you log in at Rank 1 and you've got the Premium track, well, not only do you get armor, well, you also get the exotic hand cannon, which you can equip right away and start using. You can see also I got there what's called a large XP boost, and I'm not sure exactly how that works. If it's temporary, how long that will last for, I don't know. I forgot to scroll over it, sorry. So let's take a look at Ariannas Valve. Now, when I equip it or swap to it, I need to pick up some ammo here. Take a look at the symbol right underneath Solar. You see that right there? That's showing that I have shield piercing rounds. Now get used to that symbol and other symbols, which we'll go over in a little bit here, and also in the full strike video and how we prepared for it with setting up your seasonal artifact mods on your weapons and also your armor. Well, that's to indicate you've got shield piercing rounds, but you'll see that other mods that come from your seasonal artifact you could put on legendary weapons, and they will also dictate how you are using that weapon. And when you're doing the Ordeal Nightfalls, yeah, you're gonna have to really think about what type of weapon mods, what type of armor mods am I going to take from the seasonal artifacts, and, well, who's going to do what, because some of these enemies will not be stoppable unless you have certain seasonal artifact mods on them. We are doing the 920 version of the Ordeal Nightfall Strike, and you will see that some of the enemies, well, they will have either the unstoppable symbol or they will have the barrier symbol. So right now, this exotic hand cannon, Ariannas Valve, it has this symbol for the barrier, which means that if I see an enemy that has that little triangle on them, well, Ariannas Valve is going to either take their shield down, but also do some significant damage to them. Now, in these strikes, you're facing champions. In this particular strike, we have unstoppable and we have barrier champions. We're going to come up on a knight right here, and he is going to be a barrier champion. Now, you can see the little triangle symbol on there, which means that if I didn't run out of ammo for my Ariannas Valve, I could do some damage to him. But I still did decent damage once his shield comes down. You're going to see these like weird red shields come up when you face something like a barrier champion or an unstoppable champion. You'll know when you can't really do damage to them or not much damage, and also it depends on the different difficulties of the Ordeal Nightfall Strike. Some side notes, the boss is Crota's daughter. Who knew Crota had a daughter? I will also say that playing as a Warlock, the Well of Radiance didn't feel as powerful as it used to, but I will say that the Ward of Dawn for the Titan felt awesome. Yeah, you get Weapons of Light for a good 15 seconds when you leave that bubble, and I think Titans, you guys are going to be very happy campers come October 1st. Let's take a look at the new Nightfalls. We have Adept, Hero, Legend, and Master. That goes from 750, 920, 950, and 980. Now, we did the 920 and the 950. We did not make it through the 950 because it was brutal. Let's look at these modifiers. The higher the difficulty, the more modifiers. So, on the 980, we start off with Martyr. Exploder units will have more health. Then moving along, we're going to start to see the champions. Now here we have Champions Unstoppable. This mode contains unstoppable champions, which cannot be stopped without an unstoppable mod. So real simple, just make sure one person on your fire team has one of these mods on their weapons to take down their shields and do some extra damage to them. You will have barrier champions, and you need a mod that's called anti-barrier. Same thing, you'll do more damage, take the shield down. You will have locked loadouts here. Next up, we have match game. Enemy shields are highly resistant to all unmatched elemental damage. Then we have what's called Togetherness. Base health regeneration is reduced, however, if near another player, health regen is increased. So, you don't want to venture off, you want to stay with your fire team. Then we have Champions Mob, which simply means, well, there's going to be more champions. Then lastly, we have what's called, and I'm going to butcher this, Hashladoon's Serenade. Arc damage is increased, knockback damage and distance is also increased. So in a nutshell, the higher the difficulty, the better the rewards. You're going to get exotics, you're going to get enhancement prisms, and so forth. Now this one here is 980 was that power level for the hardest difficulty. Now remember, the power cap is going to be 960, but you can go above that if you keep leveling up your artifact. Overall, I thought it was a blast. You know, we did the 920, we almost got through the 950, but time ran out and we had to cut recording. But overall, it was a really fun player experience. I really liked how prior to it, well, the three of us had to sit down and discuss, well, who's going to run what? Who's going to run the overload rounds? Who's going to run the anti-barrier rounds? And then kind of do call-outs as to, okay, there's one of those barrier champions, so-and-so, take them down, and nice grenade throw there, Sean. But there's definitely a lot more thought into these types of Nightfalls, and I think you guys are going to love them. So let's go through the different mods. So we have Dark Glimmer, so defeating Hive combatants with finishers will grant extra glimmer. Then we also have Labyrinth Miner, defeating Vex Minotaurs grant weapon parts. Then we have Biomonetizer, defeating Hive combatants grants extra glimmer. Then we also have Circuit Scavenger, defeating Vex will also give you some glimmer. Then Dissection Matrix, which will give you destination materials from Vex Hobgoblin kills. This column here is all about weapon mods that kind of relate to the Nightfalls. You've got unstoppable rounds, they cause disruption. You could pause the screen right now if you want to check out each one of them in depth. But you got your overload rounds, anti-barrier, and all the things that I kind of hinted at based off the Nightfalls and what you need to use and pick and choose to help you get through that Nightfall a little bit easier. The next column is all about enhanced reloading. So these are for your gauntlets, and anything that you would like to reload really quickly, well, you would just slot this on to your gauntlet, so you've got a plethora of things to unlock in this column. The next section is for your chest piece, and again, you could pause the video if you want to see all the details, but these are all about the Nightfall, or at least they will help you the most in the Nightfall, because they involve Overlord champions, they involve barrier champions, you could do some disruption, You can also reduce the output damage of some enemies with some of these mods, and they're awesome, I think. They cost a little bit more energy. Remember, you have 10 energy when you take a piece of armor and you max it out to a masterwork. You have 10 energy, and some of these take 3, some of them take 4. And again, it's just back to customization and who's going to do what during one of these Nightfalls. The final column, we're going to kick it off with Heavy Finisher. Now, this is the one that I was using, and it was a lot of fun because every time you do a finisher on an enemy, well, you give yourself a heavy ammo brick. However, it will take 1/2 of your super energy, and that's why if you noticed in yesterday's video, I discussed how the super bar is now sectioned off into 4s. I forgot to mention that was a class item mod, and this is a class item mod too, and the previous one took 7 energy, this one takes 6. Causing damage with a void grenade adds a weaken effect to enemies. Next one is a class item mod that costs 5 energy and grants an overshield and reduces your cooldown during activation of all arc class abilities, and it's called Arc Battery. Then we have Thunder Coil. So here is another class item for 6 energy, grants bonus damage for all arc melee abilities and refunds super energy on finisher final blows. Lastly, we have a class item for 5 energy, and this one grants bonus void super damage if cast while critically wounded, lasts until the end of the super activation. Finishers are extremely fun, stupidly addictive, and very useful. Here I'm using the artifact mod that gives me a heavy brick every time I do a finisher, but I take some super energy at a loss. Now what you want to do is look for an enemy that has this little yellow circle above their head. When you see that, go up to them, and on your controller you would press R3, you do your finisher, and if you have that artifact mod unlocked and slot it into your class item, well, you're going to give yourself a heavy brick. I found myself dying a lot because we were doing the 950 and I kept trying to do finishers on them and I kept getting myself killed, but they're very useful and a lot of fun. And there may have been some things I have seen, and here I do one right into a wall. I get the kill. I don't know what happened to him, but I may have seen some things that I can't talk about, but let's just say I will be throwing money at my screen come October 1st. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure to check out all my other Shadowkeep exclusive hands-on gameplay videos. They'll be linked and annotated on screen. Leave me a good old hashtag made it to the end if you did make it to the end. If you would like to become a channel member and further support this channel, click the link in the description or click join on screen if you're watching on a desktop. We've got an amazing Discord going. We also have a Mesa Army clan that's getting bigger by the day, and we're building an awesome community. So come on in and join the Mesa Army. That's it, guys. Drop a like in this video only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at MesaSean. Check out my stream. You usually know it's on YouTube, but that's it. I am out of here like Vladimir.